Hi, I'm Iona, Assistant Director at the Marble Falls Public Library, and you're listening to Book, Line, and Sinker, a podcast from the staff here at the Marble Falls Public Library. This podcast is all about reading, books, movies, and other topics related to the public library. We're really excited to share our thoughts with you, and we hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back, listeners. It's the season finale, and we're going to be talking about Harry Potter since we've been talking about it pretty much for the past 3 months. We're going to kind of have some fun, and I have Misty and Mary with me today.
Hello.
Good morning.
So, by the way, it's like 9 a.m., and we're going to play a game of Harry Potter Would You Rather. And basically, I'm going to ask Mary and Misty some questions about what they would rather do in the Harry Potter universe. And I'm going to start off with one of my favorite questions. I'm going to try really hard not to laugh. But would you rather marry Peter Pettigrew or Voldemort?
Ooh. I'd have to say Peter.
I'm going with Voldemort.
See, I think I'd go with Voldemort.
He has no nose, and that really bothers me.
The nose is what bothers you?
The nose and it just, no.
But Peter Pettigrew's teeth.
I know.
Yeah, his rat teeth, no.
But he can just turn into a rat when I don't want to be around him,
I just love that question. Okay. Would you rather speak parcel tongue or have the gift of sight?
Gift of sight. For sure. Parcel tongue freaks me out.
Yeah.
But you hate snakes.
I hate snakes.
Think of being able to control them with your tongue.
Because I had to be near them.
Pass.
No thanks. I avoid them at all costs. It was probably the scariest moment of all of Harry Potter was that snake scene.
So you hate the Chamber of Secrets with the snake. And then also
I did. The Goblet of Fire one is the one that was the worst. When
That
he
plays
strikes.
such a big role, though, in Harry Potter, and that's what's
I
surprising.
know, but I had a hard time. I avoid looking.
Okay, so would you rather spend a summer with the Dursleys or the Malfoys?
Malfoys.
Ah,
The Malfoys are fascinating to me.
They are. The mom fascinates me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she relied on Snape, and he's my homeboy.
Yep.
Be better in potions class or transfiguration class?
Transfiguration.
Potions.
I love it.
We're very different here.
Why transfiguration over potions?
I just think it'd be fun. I think it would be a good talent to have if you need to get away or, I don't know, hide. I don't know.
No,
I hate cooking, so potions seems a little too close to cooking.
I actually completely agree with that. I didn't even think about it that way. Okay, so be a Hogwarts house elf or a Gringotts goblin?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I guess a goblin.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to be no one's made. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I feel like if you're a goblin, like, you're ugly, but you got all the money.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. The money.
Yeah, for sure.
Morph yourself into a beetle or be transfigured into a ferret?
Ooh.
Ferret. You have more chances of survival with a ferret. If you're a beetle.
I'm gonna go
I always kill
beetle.
beetles.
Go beetle, you can get into small areas.
True, you can.
Just hide.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to perform all spells poorly or one spell perfectly.
All
That's a better
spells
one. Yeah,
poorly.
we're gonna go with that too.
I think I might go with one spell perfectly.
Because
then,
what
like,
you're
you
known
can
for.
just you can show people that and be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
But only do that one.
Watch me.
Have a lightning bolt scar on your head or a scar that resembles a map of the London Underground on your knee.
Wow, where did you get this?
That question came from Pinterest.
Lightning bolt hits on my head.
Yeah, for sure.
Side sweep my bangs. Cover it up.
I just feel like I'm knowing so much of how y'all love Harry Potter through this. Oh, that's great.
It's sad.
Be capable of performing spells without a wand or without words.
Ooh,
That's a
I
hard
would
one.
go without words. I would go without words.
I think I'd go with that wand. I think.
I was trying to answer this question.
That's hard.
And it's like you could just do it and kind of sneak up on people.
Yeah.
But then if you lost your wand,
what happens if it's
you're
gone?
done for.
But you don't lose your wand. If you're a good wizard, you don't lose your wand.
Oh, I would lose it. I already lost my name tag.
I love my TV, but I've lost my remote like 1,000 times.
Oh, that's the worst.
So, yeah, it'd just be really hard. I have to
I'm OCD, so I know where things are at, so I would not lose my wand.
That's good.
create your own philosopher's stone or discover a new use for dragon's blood.
Ooh, dragon's blood.
Yeah, agreed.
See, I think I might go with philosopher's stone, and I have no idea why. I just don't want to deal with blood.
Or dragons.
Yeah. I want to deal with dragons.
But I kind of want to deal with
dragons
too. Yeah.
Have red hair and a hand-me-down robe, or be the heir of Slytherin.
Red hair, hand-me-down
Heir
robe.
of Slytherin.
Yeah.
I am not Slytherin. I would be Weasley.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay.
If you're the heir of Slytherin, you've got to be loaded with
do,
magic.
but you're
and
evil.
money.
You're just
But
evil.
no one will mess with you.
Slytherins aren't evil.
Yes, they are.
I'm going to turn this. Okay.
Look at me in the face and tell me that.
Slytherins aren't
Okay.
evil. Firmly believe it. Let me read you my Pottermore house characteristic. So, we've played Would You Rather, and now I want to kind of know which house y'all are sorted into, and if you agree with that decision, why or why not.
This will be good.
Yeah.
Oh, just a disclaimer, we spent an hour not on at work, not on the clock, sorting ourselves into our Pottermore houses.
This is
or
very
the Harry Potter
it's
houses.
research, though.
It
if you
is
really,
research for this podcast.
Yes,
There you go.
we really
So-
had to prepare. So
we
now
did.
we are going to tell you which houses we have been sorted into. I'll let
Alright.
Misty go first.
I was sorted into Gryffindor. Woo woo. Go
No
Harry.
surprise.
I was saying,
No
big
surprise.
surprise. It's like that Parks and Rec episode when she's asking Diana what house she's sorted into, and Diana's like, I want to go with Gryffindor, but really I'm a Hufflepuff. And Leslie's like, oh, I respect your honesty. And she's like, I'm Gryffindor, seeker on the Quidditch team.
That's what I heard you too.
Oh, man.
I don't like that. I hate admitting it, but yes, go Leslie. Nope. All right.
If I could just talk about Parks and Rec and Harry Potter all the time, that'd be a great job.
Oh yeah,
It would be
Office.
awesome.
Oh, and the
Office in there,
Office.
too.
Yeah.
For sure.
But back to Harry Potter. Do you agree with your decision with Gryffindor?
Yes, I do. Reading the characteristics, yes, I agree with it. I like to be kind, and I like to do my research and try to
Be the hero.
Be the hero.
Be the hero, for
And
sure.
yes, I do agree with it. So, and I like Quidditch. Seeker. Here you go.
Have you ever played the Quidditch?
No,
that-
but I want to. They have that in Austin, and I want to go.
go to a UT Quidditch match. It's amazing.
It's great.
They
I
have
played-
a UT Quidditch match. What?
I didn't play in college,
Yeah.
but I went to a few in college because we had a
Oh,
UTSA Quidditch
okay.
team, and I would watch them practice. I really wanted to join, but
You should have joined.
I feel like I brought them down. I was not in shape.
You would have been
then.
the competitive one too.
Yes, I would have been so competitive. I don't like being bad at anything, so I just watch.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
So,
it's cool.
where were you sorted, Mary?
I'm Hufflepuff, and I totally agree. I didn't think so, because I was like, the name is just terrible, and I was pretty upset with my sorting. But then when I read the details, it really makes sense, because they're kind of below, under the radar. They're really under, what's the word? Oh, well, whatever. So they're not expected to be dangerous or to do anything, I guess, heroic, but that's kind of why they're cool, is because when they are threatened or if anything does come at them, they will take it on. And they're actually very brave. It's just that they're not rash with their decisions. They make sure that there's actually a
Think
threat.
it through.
And yeah, and then they're pretty tough.
They don't brag about their bravery like
No, they
Gryffindor.
don't. Exactly. Exactly. The Cedric Diggory's Hufflepuff, so
And so
I'm pretty okay with it. I love
Hufflepuff is
Cedric.
alright, and it's good colors. Good colors.
It's good colors, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of yellow, but whatever.
I like yellow, but I don't like Cedric Diggory.
I see. I hear that a lot. I think it's just because Rob Patterson plays him.
I don't think it's.
Yeah.
I think that
you
is
think
why.
That's why
I
it
think
ruins
that's
his
why.
character. I don't
Maybe.
know.
like Cedric.
I mean, I didn't like him in the book before he played him, but I think him playing him did taint mine, because
Well,
I was
and
Team
he-
Jacob.
Is his arrogance
Yeah.
maybe? Is that what you're
But
thinking?
he's not really arrogant. He just, people love him, and so they praise him. But he never does anything. He never praised himself. I don't think
True.
he's very arrogant. I think he's just very well loved, and so they are all.
I think you see it
Arrogant
through
for him.
Harry's eyes, and for so long he's just like pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse my language, but he
But
Yeah.
Cedric
doesn't
helps
like it.
him.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
does. The end.
He's cool.
I like Hufflepuff. I like Ravenclaw too. I thought it'd be a Ravenclaw when I took it, but I'm unfortunately, but also fortunately, let me defend the Slytherins, guys.
I think I totally expected you to be Slytherin.
Yeah,
Who were you sorted into, Ravenclaw?
no
Slytherin.
Slytherin.
Oh, that's
For the
completely.
growing up, I thought I might be a Ravenclaw because wasn't Luna Lovegood
Luna
a
Lovegood was Ravenclaw,
and I loved
mhm.
her. But I also really love Slytherin, and we get stereotyped, guys, as the evil ones.
It's because
but
Draco
it's because
Malfoy.
we're clever. Cleverness is one aspect of Slytherin, and that can sometimes be a little evil. But I think one thing I love about Slytherin is the loyalty. Slytherin's very loyal to its pack. They're very, I guess, dog-like.
Right.
And when you're a Slytherin, like, you're loyal to your other Slytherins, and I love that. And I think that does kind of explain me a bit, because I don't always rub off on everyone great, but when, like, you're in my circle, like, I'm pretty loyal to you. So I like that about Slytherin.
Well, and I think that Slytherin gets a bad name. I really do. I love the
think so.
characteristic traits, and I think as a whole it wouldn't be so bad if it didn't have Malfoy in it.
I know, it has some
really
bad
think that
seeds.
that's what has.
But I like Malfoy.
You do like Malfoy, but
I-
Malfoy's hated.
I
and
think
that's
that
just...
a lot of the most popular villains are from Slytherin, but Gryffindor had some too.
They did. They did.
So they're just not as, I guess,
Right.
publicized.
I think that the characteristic trait of Slytherin was taking it from the book to the movie. I think that they did it really good. But I think even reading in the book, Slytherin just seems so much... I mean, Malfoy's character, he did great at that, but he was super duper duper snarky in the book.
He was kind of a jerk, but
Well, I think he's a wimp, to be honest.
He is a wimp.
Because anytime things got tough, he'd run away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. That's
true.
Not
He
cool to me.
was kind of a wimp, but like when my 13-year-old self first saw him, I kind of loved him.
Because he's the bad boy. Come on.
But no, it's just, I don't know. He's been in some other stuff though, and I'm not. Grown-up self is not attracted
Yeah.
to him anymore.
Is it the snarky smart mouth maybe that got you think?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's. So, what are your opinions on the movies versus the books? Did y'all? I love the movies, but
I love both. I think
I
they
do
did a
too.
really good job.
I think that's really kind of what's surprising is that they did so good going from one to the other. I made my son watch it after he read the book because I wanted him, his little young self, to picture it in his mind first. And it's cool to hear it from a 10-year-old's perspective asking to talk about it and compare. But he said the same thing. He's like, I love them both.
he's so
Yeah.
obsessed.
He is so obsessed. Gosh.
it's hard not to be.
The kids, I can see where it's a draw for kids. I didn't get on board. I didn't jump on this bandwagon for later on. I always liked Harry Potter, but I never was obsessed until a little bit later on.
I see. I was one of those people that like snuck out. Not really, but I said I'd stay at a friend's house, and it happened to be the night the Harry Potter book was releasing at Barnes & Noble, and their parents were cool enough to take us at midnight to wait for like the book release. Do they do that anymore, like for book releases?
Not really. There hasn't been one that's just been so
Sought
loved like
after
Harry
like
Potter.
that,
Yeah.
And see, you two, y'all have always just been obsessed with that, haven't you?
I think I grew up kind of.
I grew up
I
with it.
was Harry Potter's age range essentially.
I was
Me too.
just out of it. And what's interesting about that is I have a family member who I'm not going to mention her name, but she does not let her kids watch or read. And she has kids all ages because of the magic and just thinking
Witchcraft,
the
yeah.
witchcraft. And it always made me sad because when they would come see Aunt Misty, I could never have them watch it. And it really kind of bothered me because I thought, you're taking away the imagination. I'm not promoting witchcraft. I'm not promoting the devil's work. I'm just letting them use their imagination. And
my parents didn't let me read it for the longest time, and I remember my aunt telling my mom, like, well, just read it yourself, and I think you'll appreciate that. And I just remember going, I do not recommend this, but what I did is I went to the library and checked out a book and then, like, hid it under my mattress, like, because that's the worst thing I could do as a child. But I think my parents finally, like, realized what it was about. They just kind of stayed away from it for so long. They were nervous, I guess.
Harmless.
My parents were not aware of anything, unfortunately. I love them, but they just kind of were oblivious to what was going on in my teen years and what I was watching. They kind of just let me be, which I think ended up with that freedom. I think that I didn't rebel because of it. But I had a friend that her parents wouldn't let her either. And she would come and watch it at my house.
That's it.
I corrupted everybody. But no.
With Harry Potter.
But no, my parents were pretty cool about it. But my parents, I think, just appreciated that I was reading. So they just kind of let me be. Which I encourage.
I say get your kids to read Harry Potter that downtime after the state exams, what do they call it? Stars now?
Yeah, the star
testing. I mean, after you do those kind of tests, like, I think Harry Potter's the best. I went and reread them in high school just because they're just so entertaining.
They are. They really...
What is it, like 20 years now since it's been released, and those things still get checked out like they're brand new.
Oh, yeah, our paperbacks, the poor things.
The British release came out in 91.
Okay, so it's over 20 years.
So it's great. Yeah, I really like the movie adaptations, and I understand those books are thick. You can't fit all of that into 2 hours of screen time.
Oh, no.
I was very understanding when sometimes with other books I'm not, maybe just because I love it so much. But I've met some hardcore Harry Potter friends that they do not like the movie.
Really?
But I thought the casting was perfect.
I think so too.
Snape, Alan Rickman.
Oh my goodness.
The most perfect casting.
And I hate admitting, but he's like, I don't hate admitting, he's one of my favorite characters on there.
Oh,
he's
for
like
sure.
Fantastic.
Snape
is my favorite character, and he was in the books too. I
Did you cry when he died?
Yeah, spoiler
alert. I know.
In real life. Oh, who's the spoiler now?
I will put spoiler warning in the
played.
comments. But yeah, when Alan Rickman died, I was pretty upset. I loved him in Love Actually. And
oh yes,
I just remember when
Insensibility.
Yes.
Oh man.
Okay, well I'm gonna go old school. I loved him in Die Hard. There we go.
Yeah, he's all right, but I really it was sad when Alan Rickman died. I think the casting they did with Harry Potter, I mean, obviously they had to be careful with it, but I think they chose.
I think they did great.
Right.
I think it's because the author was really involved too, which I think made a huge difference because she was very picky, which at first I was like, come on, just let him have it, let him do it. But I appreciate her being so picky with things because then they turned out
She had
amazing.
a vision, and she wanted
did, and she didn't let them just take it over because I feel like some of the other movie adaptations, the authors kind of just let them have it, and I think that they ruined it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
J.K. Rowling is just absolutely amazing.
she's a genius.
And I've loved everything she's written. Did y'all read The Casual Vacancy?
That's what I was getting
Don't
ready to
know.
mention was that.
I enjoyed it, but just nothing is more just monumental in our culture than Harry Potter.
No.
I mean, that's a big statement, but I really believe it.
I believe it too.
I love reading the backstory to how he came about. You know, Harry got her through some tough times in her life.
Yeah, he did.
And so it's pretty interesting reading the foundation for where it came from. And the timeline, the Harry Potter timeline is really good.
Harry Potter got me through some tough times in my life.
I think it completely turned the book industry completely around.
Yeah.
I wrote about this in college. I wrote a 20-page paper on this because I got to choose my topic, and I chose Harry Potter and kind of his value in education. And I really think that why there's so many readers now is because of Harry Potter.
Well, you see kids who are 10 years old cutting and blowing through those. I honestly thought it was going to be too much for my son. And no, I mean, he was every night begging to stay up and read. So if you want quality times with your kids, I encourage you to take a chapter or two, a night, read it, draw it out. It was great. I loved it. I was sad when it was over because I enjoyed that time.
Yeah.
I said I remember starting to read it around, 11.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think is the right time for kids to start reading Harry Potter? Because as they get more intense through the 5th and the 6th and 7th book, those themes do get a lot more mature. So I had a friend ask me, well, her son's a great reader, but he's on the younger side. So I'm just curious.
For me, I'm not going to put an age on there. I'm not, because every kid is different. Every kid can handle different subject matters. I think if they're showing that interest and they're willing to devour that book like most kids do, I say let them have it. That's just my opinion. But I introduce my kids to stuff early on. So not every parent may agree with that, but for me, I say if they're showing that will and it doesn't scare them, let them have at it.
I agree.
I was thinking kind of like a 4th to 5th grade. If you're going to start from the beginning and if they can take their time with it. I would always, if they do want to read it and it's intimidating, listening to the audiobook. That guy.
That's a good idea.
I think his name is Jim Dale. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the audiobook is one of the most fantastic audiobooks ever. It's
for sure
almost as good as the movie.
That's really interesting. That's a good way to introduce them to it if they're not ready for it.
Oh, you definitely should.
It's so fun.
Adds so much more life to them.
So, who is your favorite character?
Mine is Hermione, hands down. I mean, I'm probably sure that doesn't surprise you guys, but I love her.
I was kind of surprised. I thought you might go with Ron
No,
or Harry.
I love Ron. He's probably my second. It kind of goes Hermione, Ron, and then Harry. I love Harry, but I love him.
My sister was in love with Ron Weasley. She wanted to marry him. Oh my gosh.
He does have, I do love Ron, but...
He's so cute in real life, too. He, spent some of his money to buy an ice cream truck. I think that is so funny.
That is adorable.
That's hilarious. I think he's really like his characters in the movie.
Is it Rupert? What's his name?
Rupert
Grint?
Grint.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, I don't know. After reading all of them and going through it, I think Snape is probably one of my favorites. But I didn't like him in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. I was never gung-ho for Snape. But after it all finished, I don't know. I just kind of swooned. I just swooned a little. Oh man, I can't think of anybody else.
It's because he's broken. It makes sense
He's broken.
now.
He's broken. But I'm just a romantic at heart, and I just think the fact that he hung on for so long is just adorable.
And then he protected the son.
Oh my gosh.
Of the woman he loved.
That's adorable.
Actually didn't like Harry Potter at first. So I liked Snape because he was kind of mean to Harry Potter. And Harry just annoyed me. His life sucked, but
he's very whiny.
he was rich and came from a good family. So I love Snape. Number one favorite character. I mean, I have him on my keyring. I have a Snape tattoo. I love Snape. But Luna Lovegood.
Yeah.
She does so. I love
She's
her character.
adorable.
Just
And
absolutely
the actress
adorable.
does fantastic at her.
Yeah,
She does.
She does.
Mm-hmm.
She really does.
She really won my heart. She's so cute. All right, so just want to wrap it up. Does anyone have any last things to say about Harry Potter?
Read it. Listen to it. Watch
Yes.
it. Please.
All of it. And then come by the library around Halloween time.
And then tell us that we're right.
Yeah, and tell us that we're right.
That
And
it
tell
was
us how
amazing.
awesome we look in our Harry Potter costumes.
Yeah, so we're going to try to dress up as characters for Halloween. So come by the library and see that. Well, this wraps up this season of the podcast. We'll be back in a few months in the fall with new topics, kind of maybe new music, new format. You'll see. So catch up on our podcast on our website or on iTunes, and we'll see you in a bit.